What is the Section 702 database?
It's not a single database per se. Section 702 enables the government to collect the communications of certain foreign targets, which is pretty much any foreigner, if the government has a foreign intelligence purpose, and to collect any information on them, including all of their communications, and that includes communications with Americans. All of that gets fed into various different data systems that different agencies have.
And how vast are these data systems? In other words, what types of information is being collected and about whom?
Right, so we have very little public information about that, but in 2011, which I think is the last time this particular statistic was reported, there were 250 million communications, internet communications obtained. And that was when there were far fewer targets. If you extrapolate with the number of targets we have today, it's about 1 billion communications, internet communications collected every year, and because they reside in these systems for at least 5 years, several billion communications right now in storage collected under 702.
And what are these communications? Are these calls, texts, emails, location data?
It can be anything, and it doesn't have to be communications. It can be any kind of foreign intelligence information or information that is qualifies as foreign intelligence. Actually, it doesn't have to be foreign intelligence. The government just has to have a foreign intelligence purpose. So it can be any kind of information imaginable, but definitely it includes electronic surveillance, which is communications.
Got it. And who could be tied up in this database? And in terms of American citizens, members of Congress, everyday American citizens, who all could be caught up in this?
Right, so there are almost 300,000 foreign targets, and they do not, as I said before, they don't have to be suspected of any wrongdoing, and so anybody who has the misfortune of being in communication with someone who has been designated as one of these targets, their communications will be swept up.
So we have billions of data points from American citizens who have never been convicted of a crime.
Not all of the billions involve Americans. We don't know what proportion involves Americans because they won't give us an
estimate. But a large
estimate.
Number.
Presumably, because of the prevalence of international communications.
And where does all of this information sit?
Different databases in different agencies.
Mm-hmm. And that's all within the federal government that various actors have access to?
Yes.
Who has access to this information?
Agents who are working on cases. I mean, I think it's a lot. I mean, we heard earlier it's basically 10,000 FBI agents. It's in the FBI. I mean, leaving aside the NSA and the CIA, it's agents in field offices all around the country.
And they don't need a warrant to access any of it?
No.
Okay. And what types of protocols or procedures are in place to help protect privacy of American citizens' data that sounds like all over within multiple agencies of the federal government? Right.
So there have been reforms that were put in place through last year's reauthorization of Section 702 that required things like attorney approval of U.S. person queries. It required people to keep a written justification of their queries, agents. It required an audit every 6 months by the National Security Division of Queries. It required supervisory approval for certain sensitive queries. So there are sort of layers on layers of these sort of internal review or oversight mechanisms. Many of these were in place well before RISA codified them. Mm-hmm. And even after these internal mechanisms had been adopted, we were still seeing abuses. We were seeing searches for the communications of a U.S. senator, a state senator, a state court judge who had contacted the FBI to report civil rights violations by a police chief. That was after many of these reforms had been adopted. So have they helped? Probably. Again, we don't have complete data from this past year, but they're not enough.
So there's millions of, potentially more, bits of communication information of American citizens sitting in various government databases that FBI agents have access to without obtaining a warrant. That seems like a pretty egregious violation of the Fourth Amendment, does it not?
To me, that is a violation right there, even if every single query complies with the internal standards and procedures that have been adopted. It's not probable cause in a warrant, and therefore it's a Fourth Amendment problem.
Agreed. Thank you.